So, I haven't gone ahead and made a whole two-part thing for Hank. Instead, we're gonna have just a little bite-sized yap. I'm gonna keep this short. Hank is a big, powerful American engine, meant to be a K4 Pacific. I quite like that design, but there's no way in the world that it would work on the island of Sodor. It's far too tall, a couple feet too wide, just so heavy in comparison to anything on Sodor. You know it isn't though. This is the USATC S-160. Between 1942 and 1945, 2,120 of these were built. USATC stands for United States Army Transport Corps. Hank is an American engine. S-160 is an American design. Box checked. Hank's very strong. The only island residents stronger than 160 are Murdoch and Gordon. You don't really count Spencer as an island resident, but if you did, I guess he counts. Even then, the S-160 is better for starting off heavy trains than Gordon would be, due to having more and smaller driving wheels, and a larger proportion of that weight on the driving wheels. That box is checked. Hank doesn't fit the loading gauge, but the S-160 sure does, making it reasonable for him to fit into stories better. If Hank stuck around in this form, I have no doubt the Brenner era could have tackled small but noticeable cultural differences with him. Imagine a big 280 telling the engines on Sodor that back home he'd be considered absolutely tiny. Hank telling him what a caboose is? In his K4 form, he's physically too large to make sense. An S-160 though could stick around and comfortably run heavy trains across the main line as a secondary or tertiary character. That leads me into a small rant before I end this. I love the idea of a second cast, located at the east end of the island instead of living in the old Knapford sheds like Season 5 had. So in later seasons we see that Rosie's the Vickerstown station pilot, but who else is stationed there? We never see Murdoch in CGI, so I choose to believe he's there. Maybe Donald and Douglas were over there when they disappeared for half the series, who knows? Maybe that's where Boko disappeared to. Neville, Hank, Billy, Charlie, Molly. I'm sure there's other characters that kinda disappeared and could be over there, at the East End. Some services have to start over there. There's too many people there, it's a connection to the mainland, it's got to be busy. Most of the passengers have to come from there at least sometimes. And so business is bound to pass through Vickerstown Station. So much so that it wouldn't make sense for there not to be a shed. Maybe there's gonna be a separate video on that. I don't know yet, we'll see.